At this moment, the Grand Secretary of Skyseal Pavilion was truly panicked. Before, he had only feared being implicated, but now, a heavy accusation had been thrown directly at him, catching him completely off guard. Humph! The evidence is irrefutable. You still dare to argue? Do I need to use torture to make you talk? Thorian shouted. Young Prince! I swear I am innocent! The Grand Secretary of Skyseal Pavilion was so terrified that he was nearly in tears. Raising 3 fingers, he swore. If I am involved in Chinxavier's murder, may I be struck by lightning and perish in eternal damnation. If swearing was useful, why would we need the law enforcement team? Thorian's face remained cold. Considering your years of service to West Lacosia, I'll give you a chance to confess honestly. Otherwise, don't blame me for throwing you into the Black Prison. At the mention of the Black Prison, the Grand Secretary of Skyseal Pavilion trembled uncontrollably, sobbing and pleading. Young Prince! I truly did nothing. Who is the bastard accusing me? Let me confront him face to face. Oh? You want to know the informant's name? Planning to silence them, perhaps? Thorian glared at him. I wouldn't dare. I'm truly innocent. Young Prince, you have sharp judgment. Please don't believe the slander of vile people. The Grand Secretary continued crying out. The informant is a person of high integrity and noble status. Naturally, I trust what they say, Thorian replied. Hearing this, the Grand Secretary suddenly seemed to realize something. His head shot up, and he exclaimed emotionally. Young Prince! Could it be that General Lewis accused me? That scoundrel is deliberately framing me, isn't he? General Lewis is an upright man. If he had no solid evidence, why would he accuse you? Thorian said. Ha! So it really is that scoundrel setting me up. The Grand Secretary's face was full of grief and indignation. Earlier, when he had seen General Lewis chatting and laughing with William from the law enforcement team, he had already felt suspicious. Later, he overheard a slip of the tongue from the prince's personal guards, mentioning that the young prince was hosting a banquet for General Lewis. That made him even more wary. At first, he didn't think too much about it. But now, he finally understood. General Lewis was trying to shift the blame, pinning Chinxavier's murder directly on him. Scoundrel! Since you're being ruthless, don't blame me for being merciless. The Grand Secretary gritted his teeth, completely abandoning his scruples. He immediately began exposing everything he knew. Young Prince, I know what really happened to Chinxavier. General Lewis is lying through his teeth. The real murderers are him and the city guard commander. They work together, trying to extract certain secrets from Chinxavier. That's why they killed him. If you want to hold someone accountable, start with those 2 scoundrels. Hearing this, Thorian deliberately furrowed his brows. Are you trying to evade responsibility by falsely accusing them? Young Prince! I swear on my life, every word I just said is true. If I am lying, may my head roll. The Grand Secretary's voice was resolute. The general claims you're the murderer, and now you're accusing him. So, who should I believe? Thorian showed a hesitant expression. If the young prince doesn't believe me, then summon that scoundrel. I am willing to confront him face to face. The Grand Secretary looked determined. What's the use of a confrontation? You'll just argue endlessly, and the matter will never be resolved. In the end, what really matters is evidence. Thorian's tone turned serious. You accuse the general and the city guard commander of killing Chinxavier. Do you have any proof? Or witnesses? Proof? The Grand Secretary was momentarily stunned. After thinking for a moment, his eyes lit up. Young Prince! I know their secret hideouts and underground connections. If you investigate them, you'll surely find some clues. And if nothing is found? Thorian raised an eyebrow. Then I will accept any punishment. The Grand Secretary had made up his mind. Since General Lewis and the city guard commander had betrayed him, he wouldn't show them any mercy either. If he was going down, he was taking them with him. William, Take the Grand Secretary and start investigating immediately. Report back as soon as you find anything. Thorian signaled with his eyes. Understood. William responded, then quickly left with the Grand Secretary. Previously, the law enforcement team's investigation had lacked direction. With corruption shielding the guilty at every level, they hadn't made any progress. But now, with the Grand Secretary as an insider, everything became much easier. Obstacles turned into leads, hidden networks became exposed. The Grand Secretary, having thrown all caution aside, revealed everything he knew, including General Lewis and the City Guard commander's secret dealings, their personal weaknesses, and even things he shouldn't have known. It was clear this was a battle where only one side would survive. With the Grand Secretary's full cooperation, the Prince's law enforcement team began a sweeping crackdown, making arrests left and right. General Lewis and the City Guard commander's corrupt dealings and illicit businesses were all wiped out in one fell swoop. Even their past heinous crimes were dug up and exposed one by one.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime. Love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase, keeping you